The past 7 days have been extraordinary for archaeology, from a Roman sailor's tombstone turning up in a New Orleans garden to an amulet that might rewrite the history of Christianity itself. The world's buried stories just keep surfacing. We've got lost land bridges, medieval hoards, Bronze Age artistry, and even ancient beer with a psychedelic twist. So grab your trowel and hit subscribe, because this is Archaeology This Week, where we unearth the finds that make us rethink everything we thought we knew about the past. Our journey begins not in some far-flung desert or jungle, but in the quiet Shropshire countryside, where ordinary people got their hands dirty and uncovered traces of a Roman world hiding beneath an English estate. At first glance, Addingham Park in Shropshire looks like the picture of Georgian refinement: manicured lawns, stately halls, and afternoon tea. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a Roman world lying just beneath the surface. In a unique public excavation led by Time Team's Matt Williams, local volunteers joined archaeologists to peel back the soil and uncover something remarkable: fragments of Roman life frozen in time. Among the discoveries were coins, a decorative metal acorn, likely an ornament from a Roman chest or piece of furniture, and even the curved handle of what's believed to be a soldier's helmet. They also found traces of an Iron Age roundhouse, a Roman industrial site, and most intriguingly, a shrine that may once served as a spiritual focal point for the settlement. What makes this project special isn't just the finds themselves, but who found them. Schoolchildren, community groups, and curious locals all took part, washing, sorting, and recording artifacts as they came out of the earth. The dig has helped piece together how Addingham fits into the wider story of Roman Britain, and how places we think we know can still surprise us. As one expert put it, the dig may have been small in scale, but its impact is enormous. Over in Romania, archaeologists digging through the remains of a Roman settlement at Turda have uncovered something small, strange, and rather beautiful: a bronze box shaped like a miniature temple. Complete with tiny columns and a triangular pediment, it looks like a pocket-sized shrine, and it may well have been one. The find was made at the Canabae Legionis, the civilian settlement that once grew around the Roman army's Legio V Macedonica camp. This was no backwater outpost. It was a bustling community of traders, craftsmen, and families who followed the soldiers wherever they went. The temple-shaped box discovered in a wealthy home likely held offerings or devotional objects, a private act of worship sealed in metal. Alongside it, the team uncovered glass jewelry, bronze rings, and even fragments of ornate furniture, all of which paint a picture of a household steeped in luxury and belief. Every detail speaks of a world where faith and daily life blurred together, and where even the smallest object could serve as a bridge between mortals and their gods. It's a vivid reminder that the Romans didn't just build empires, they built personal connections to the divine. Deep in Egypt's North Sinai, archaeologists have unearthed a fortress straight out of the age of the pharaohs. Hidden for millennia beneath the shifting sands of Tel el-Karuba, this stronghold dates back to the New Kingdom, the golden era of Egypt's empire. It once guarded the Way of Horus, an ancient highway linking Egypt to the powerful kingdoms of Syria and Mesopotamia. The remains are astonishingly well preserved: a 105-foot southern wall, a fortified gateway, and 11 defensive towers, all built to repel any threat approaching from the east. Inside, archaeologists found what seems to have been a barracks, with pottery shards, bread ovens, and even fossilized dough still in place, a tangible glimpse of soldiers' everyday lives more than 3,000 years ago. One particularly intriguing discovery was a vessel stamped with the cartouche of King Thutmose I, suggesting royal involvement in the fortress's construction or upkeep. As excavations continue, researchers believe the site may once have been supported by a nearby military port, making it not just a frontier outpost, but a key hub in Egypt's vast network of defense and trade. In the hills of Chechnya, archaeologists have stumbled upon something extraordinary: a 2,500-year-old Alanian tomb, untouched since the day it was sealed. Hidden within the Alcancala necropolis west of Grozny, the grave lay silent for centuries, until now. Inside, the team found a glittering array of treasures: swords inlaid with garnets, golden harness fittings, and jewelry of startling craftsmanship. The Alani were a nomadic people of the Eurasian steppes, renowned for their mastery of horsemanship and their far-reaching alliances with the great powers of the ancient world. This burial, undisturbed by looters, offers a rare and intimate look at their society. The lavish goods suggest the occupant was no ordinary warrior, but someone of high rank, perhaps a military leader or noble. Every object tells a story of skill and status. The bejeweled horse gear hints at the animal's sacred role in Alanian culture, while imported metal vessels and weapons reveal connections stretching across continents. For archaeologists, the find is a time capsule of a vanished civilization, a people whose influence spanned empires, but whose graves until now had guarded their secrets well. Off the coast of modern-day Turkey, beneath the waters of Ayvalık, archaeologists have uncovered the ghost of a vanished world, a land bridge that once connected Anatolia to Europe. Scattered across this submerged landscape were 138 Paleolithic tools, lying silent for tens of thousands of years. These finds suggest that long before the Balkans became the accepted gateway to Europe, early humans may have walked a now-lost path across the Aegean. The tools, uncovered across 10 sites, include hand axes and level-off flakes typical of Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens. During the Ice Age, when sea levels dropped more than 300 feet, the islands and peninsulas of Ayvalık would have merged into one continuous stretch of land, a natural bridge linking continents. The research team, led by Dr. Göknur Karahan of Hacettepe University, described the moment of discovery as emotional and inspiring, as they realized they were holding the first evidence of human activity ever recorded in this region. The find not only expands our understanding of ancient migration, but hints that entire chapters of human history may still lie hidden beneath the sea. As Dr. Karahan put it, it feels like we've added a new page to the story of how humanity spread across the world. In the high Andes of Peru, archaeologists have uncovered evidence that the Wari, a pre-Inca civilization flourishing between 600 and 1000 CE, may have held their empire together not just through power, but through hallucinogenic beer. A recent study suggests that Wari elites mixed a psychedelic substance called vilca, derived from the seeds of the Anadenanthera colubrina tree, into chicha, a local beer made from the berries of the Schinus mali plant. Communal feasts were central to Wari politics, where leaders from far-flung regions met in enclosed courtyards to share food, drink, and prayer. The addition of vilca, known for inducing short but intense visions, followed by a lasting sense of empathy and openness, may have turned these banquets into spiritual experiences that forged political unity. The theory is backed by finds of vilca seeds alongside brewing remains in Wari compounds, suggesting these were not ordinary parties, but carefully choreographed ceremonies of diplomacy. Scholars argue that the Wari may have used this mind-altering mixture to transcend tribal rivalries and foster a shared sense of identity across their vast realm. In other words, a few sacred drinks might have been the secret ingredient behind one of South America's earliest empires. In a twist no one expected, a man digging for worms near his summer house outside Stockholm unearthed one of the largest medieval silver hoards ever found in Sweden, and the first ever discovered in the capital's region. Hidden in a crumbling copper cauldron, the treasure weighed more than 6 kilos and included some 20,000 coins, rings, pendants, and beads, all dating to the 12th century, long before Stockholm itself was founded in 1252. The coins, many embossed with the Latin name Canutus, hail from the reign of King Knut Eriksson, the ruler who reintroduced royal minting after a century-long hiatus. Mixed among them were rare bishop coins, showing a cleric with a crozier, a sign of the church's growing political clout at the time. The sheer size and quality of the hoard suggest it belonged to a wealthy family who buried their fortune for safekeeping during one of Knut's many wars against pagan tribes and never returned to reclaim it. Archaeologists are still cataloging the trove, but early indications suggest its value is immense. Once fully examined, the hoard is expected to be displayed in Stockholm's historical museum, a fitting home for a treasure that predates the city itself. When a Tulane University anthropologist started clearing her back garden in New Orleans, the last thing she expected to dig up was a Roman gravestone from the 2nd century CE. Yet that's exactly what Daniela Santoro and her husband found buried among the roots. A heavy stone slab engraved in Latin commemorating Sextus Congenius Verus, a sailor of the Praetorian fleet of Misenum, a man who had lived 42 years, served 22 in the Navy, and sailed aboard the trireme Asclepius. Experts were baffled. The inscription matched one known to have gone missing from the National Archaeological Museum of Civitavecchia in Italy, a site destroyed by Allied bombing in the Second World War. The gravestone, they believe, may have been taken during or after the war, passing through the antiquities trade before somehow ending up in Louisiana. The find connects a Roman naval base built under Emperor Trajan with a New Orleans back garden, linking two very different worlds. Archaeologists now hope to trace its path across continents, piecing together how the tombstone of a long-dead sailor washed up thousands of miles from the Mediterranean he once called home. In Frankfurt, archaeologists have uncovered an 1,800-year-old silver amulet containing a scroll that could rewrite the early story of Christianity north of the Alps. Found beneath the chin of a skeleton in a Roman grave, the tiny scroll, barely an inch long, was rolled tightly inside a delicate silver capsule and buried with its owner sometime between 230 and 270 CE. Using advanced CT scanning, researchers were able to digitally unroll the fragile foil and reveal 18 lines of Latin text, a prayer invoking Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and Saint Titus, alongside the triple refrain, Holy, Holy, Holy. The text, now known as the Frankfurt inscription, is the earliest known Christian artifact ever found in this part of Europe, predating all previous evidence by at least 50 years. It offers an unprecedented glimpse into a moment when Christianity was still a persecuted faith, practiced in secret. Its language, free from references to pagan gods, marks it as an overtly Christian statement of belief, remarkable for its time. For archaeologists and theologians alike, the find forces a major rethink. Christianity, it seems, reached Roman Germania far earlier than anyone thought, carried quietly by believers who risked everything to wear their faith close to the heart. When metal detectorist Chris Langston set out to scan a field near Oswestry, England, he expected little more than the odd bottle top. Instead, between 2017 and 2019, he uncovered 43 silver coins dating from the late 12th to early 13th centuries, the reigns of Richard the Lionheart, King John, and Henry III. The collection, now known as the Hindford Hoard, has since been officially declared treasure and offers a glittering window into medieval England. The coins, known as short cross pennies, were worth a day's wage each at the time and came from mints in London, Canterbury, Dublin, and even Roxburgh in Scotland. Experts believe they were buried around 1232, likely hidden for safekeeping by someone who never returned to reclaim them. Langston, who waived his finder's fee in the hope the hoard would go on display locally, described the moment of discovery as a slow-release shock. Beyond its silver gleam, the hoard tells a story of travel, trade, and turmoil, of money that crossed kingdoms, and an owner who vanished into history. And that's it for This Week in Archaeology. From Roman sailors turning up in New Orleans to an amulet that might just rewrite the history of Christianity. Each discovery is a reminder that the past isn't finished, it's still surfacing, one spadeful at a time. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Amazing Archaeology, and hit the bell so you never miss a dig. Drop a comment below and tell us which find blew your mind the most, the Frankfurt amulet, the Wari beer, or that lost land bridge beneath the Aegean. Join us next time for more lost worlds, ancient mysteries, and the stories that refuse to stay buried.